Tonight, when the sun goes down, you are going to do something that feels completely natural. You are going to wait until you are exhausted, climb into bed, and try to sleep for 8 straight hours. You will probably fail, and you have probably blamed yourself for it. But what if the problem is not you? What if the way you sleep right now, one long, unbroken block from night to morning, is actually one of the strangest sleeping habits in all of human history? For almost all of human existence, your ancestors did not sleep the way you sleep. They slept twice, every single night, and the science behind why they did it and why you stopped reveals something deeply unsettling about the world you have built around yourself. Here is what no one told you. For most of recorded history and long before it, human sleep followed a pattern that historians now call biphasic sleep. Your ancestors would fall asleep shortly after dark. They would sleep for 3 to 4 hours, then they would wake up. Not from a nightmare, not from noise, just wake up. Naturally, completely. As if something inside them had been set to a timer. That period of waking lasted roughly an hour, sometimes 2. And what happened during that time matters enormously. Then they would fall back asleep for another 3 to 4 hours. That was the second sleep. And when morning came, they rose from it feeling rested. This was not insomnia. This was not dysfunction. This was the default human sleep architecture, the one your nervous system was actually built for. In 2001, historian Roger Ekirch published a landmark study that changed how sleep scientists understood the past. He spent 16 years combing through thousands of historical documents, diaries, court records, medical texts, prayer books, literature. What he found was staggering. References to the first sleep and the second sleep appeared everywhere, across dozens of cultures and centuries. Pre-industrial Europeans wrote about them matter-of-factly, the way you might mention breakfast and dinner. 2 sleeps were not exceptional. They were simply what nighttime was. Medieval prayer books scheduled specific prayers for the waking hour between the 2 sleeps. Doctors recommended it as the ideal time for couples to conceive. Writers described lying awake in that quiet hour to think, to reflect, to do the mental work that daylight hours did not allow. That window between the first and second sleep was treated as something sacred, a private, liminal space that belonged to the mind. Your ancestors were not insomniacs who had no choice. They were people whose biology had found a rhythm with the dark. So what happened? The answer begins with light, artificial light. In the 1990s, psychiatrist Thomas Wehr conducted a revealing experiment at the National Institute of Mental Health. He took a group of adults and removed artificial lighting from their lives for weeks. No electric bulbs, no screens, just natural light and natural dark. Within a matter of weeks, every single participant drifted back into biphasic sleep. The first sleep, the waking hour, the second sleep. It happened without coaching, without instruction, without effort. Their bodies simply remembered. What Wehr's research revealed is that the long, consolidated 8-hour sleep you chase every night is not a biological ideal. It is a cultural adaptation, one that was forced on the human body when artificial light began to push back the dark. When electric lighting spread through cities in the 18th and 19th centuries, night became shorter. Productive hours extended. The waking hour between 2 sleeps stopped making economic sense. Factories and schedules demanded that you be in one place at a fixed time. Your sleep had to consolidate. It had to compress. And it did, not because your body chose to, but because the world demanded it. The result? A species-wide experiment in sleep deprivation that has never ended. Think about what you know about the time between your first and second sleep, even though you have probably never experienced it consciously. You have almost certainly woken up in the middle of the night, somewhere between 1 and 3 in the morning, and lain there in the dark, unable to fall back asleep, wondering what is wrong with you. You have probably stared at the ceiling. You have probably checked your phone. You have probably felt the creeping anxiety of someone who believes they are broken. You are not broken. You are ancestral. That 3 a.m. waking is your nervous system doing exactly what it was designed to do. It is surfacing from the first sleep, expecting to find a quiet, dark world, a fire burning low. the sounds of other bodies nearby, an hour of soft wakefulness before the second sleep pulls you back under. Instead, it finds a glowing phone screen. It finds anxiety. It finds silence so complete that it reads as threat. Neuroscientist Russell Foster at the University of Oxford has argued for years that what modern medicine calls sleep maintenance insomnia, the inability to sleep through the night, may in many cases be a completely natural biological rhythm that has been misclassified as a disorder. When you see waking in the night as a failure, you panic. The panic raises cortisol. The cortisol makes it impossible to return to sleep. And the problem compounds itself every single night because of a story you were told about what sleep is supposed to look like. The story was wrong. Now think about what you have lost by compressing all your rest into a single window. That waking hour between the two sleeps was not wasted time. It was when the default mode network of the brain, the part responsible for self-reflection, memory consolidation, and meaning-making, could run without interference. Your ancestors used that hour to think, to pray, to dream while awake, to process whatever the day had delivered. There is evidence in Ekirch's research that the waking hour was one of the most psychologically fertile periods in a person's day. Modern life has abolished it, not because we don't need it, but because it did not fit the schedule. Consider what has taken its place. You now exist in a world that tells you sleep is something to be optimized, compressed, hacked. You set alarms. You track your sleep stages with a wristband. You feel guilty when you can't sleep through. You take melatonin to force your body into submission. You treat the night as an obstacle between you and the next productive day. But your body is not an obstacle. It is an archive. Every signal it sends at 3 a.m., every gentle surfacing, every restless turn, every quiet wakefulness in the dark, is information from a nervous system that has been shaped by hundreds of thousands of years of nighttime. A nervous system that does not know the word insomnia. A nervous system that only knows the rhythm, and the rhythm was two sleeps. Always two. There is something worth sitting with in all of this. You live in a civilization so thoroughly lit that darkness itself has become rare. Your nights are filled with notifications and artificial blue light that tells your circadian clock that the sun has not gone down. You chase 8 hours because someone decided 8 was the number, not because your body ever actually agreed. And when you fail, you conclude that something in you is malfunctioning. But the research points to something different, not that you are broken, that you have been transplanted, taken from a biology that evolved under firelight and stars and placed into a world of fluorescent ceilings and midnight notifications, and then told to perform as if nothing had changed. Your ancestors slept twice, and between those sleeps they were awake in the dark, quietly, calmly, in a way that required nothing of them. No task, no optimization, no productivity. Just the ancient luxury of being a mind at rest between two sleeps in a world that had the courtesy to go dark. Tonight, when you wake up at 3 a.m., and you probably will, do not reach for your phone. Do not calculate how many hours you have left. Do not begin the quiet self-indictment that insomniacs know so well. Just lie there, in the dark, like every ancestor you have ever had. You are not failing to sleep. You are in between.